Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet. Today we are checking out some more Tower of God, and we're really gearing up to a bunch of stuff. I feel like there are a bunch of preliminaries for the actual getting on to the Hell Train, let alone just getting to this tournament for tickets onto the Hell Train. We seem to be doing lots of bonus things prior to that, but we met Daniel, who I know should strike fear into me because I saw what he did to those people on the train getting to the tournament. However, the name Daniel doesn't exactly strike fear into my soul, but I guess it's probably just one of those things with Tower of God. For every cool, intimidating name, there's a Daniel to counter it. I know that he is probably going to be a big contender as we go through this story, but it did throw me off a little bit when he revealed his face and he was like, "I'm Daniel." I'm like, oh, I'll probably come to realize how scary he can be. And we also were focusing in on this idol that is also part of the tournament. She's trying to get these people who are currently all fighting each other, because only a set few will be allowed to go onto the train. Even though they don't have an actual ticket, they will be given a pass to get on there. And of course, instead of coming up with some kind of negotiation or figuring out the logistics in a calm and composed way, they have decided to all fight each other until there is only a small number of them still standing, and this idol has decided that she's going to try and convert as many of them as she can. I don't really know who she is yet. I feel like we should know who she is, but I haven't guessed correctly yet. I don't think so. So there's lots of little things happening before we get into the actual tournament, let alone getting to the train. So let's just get into these chapters. All right. We have Daniel facing off with Ren, which I think is an interesting dynamic of, I don't know, someone who like thinks that there's a certain amount of fun and enjoyment to people who break expectations, and then there's Ron he likes the challenge, but he's also very stoic about it. And then this person. Why are we just calling her pink hair? Okay, but also never question an idol fan about whether or not they know where their idol is. We always know. They got superpowers for that. She should be, yes. There are places that she should be. Like how everyone's just like, why are you even here? You quit. For why though? Okay, so you had to quit being an idol to get on the train? Schedules? Contracts? It's probably a liability to be like, hey, let's let our idol go on a literal hell train that has a very low rate of anyone actually surviving it. This seems like a very impulsive, unhinged decision, but I hope there's some reason for it. I don't like the smile though. It's just something about it that, given all the circumstances, that makes me uncomfortable. I don't like it. She must be confident in her ability to protect herself, because we don't seem to have any security with us, and also we're just telling people we have 2 tickets, so I hope she can hold her own. It is. I don't know if I trust her though. Okay, so we've converted some people. Okay, so we've acknowledged that it is a strong person. We're comparing it to the other person that we were recruiting for. I don't know about this. The instant annoyance. It's true. You're gonna have to deal with this team now, which is a little bit more difficult than dealing with everyone kind of doing their own thing. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna be making friends with her. Honestly, I don't think that's how this is gonna turn out. Yeah, that is also a good point. I'm like, they may be difficult to deal with now that they're a team, but also they don't have any real loyalty to each other. So it may not be that different fighting them as a team as opposed to dealing with them individually, because they're basically still individual. It is an issue to have someone who can be like that composed in a situation where everyone's in a free-for-all battle royale, and then able to use their words to convert people to their side. That is a thing that makes me a little bit nervous. Having someone who can influence people and knows how to use those tactics to get what they want. Don't say there's no more surprises. There's definitely going to be a surprise now because you've said it out loud. Oh, we're not going to let that go? We're going to have to investigate? Why are we saying he stomped? It has a much more aggressive tone than I would expect. Yeah, he's not great at connecting with people anymore. Like Rock is saying, he wasn't always this unfriendly, but he's also not here to make friends intentionally, right? I think that's part of the coldness, is because he has been told that he is going to have to sacrifice some people. So he is trying to keep people at arm's length as opposed to getting to know them. And he was already keeping people at a bit of a distance anyway, because he has been betrayed, because he has this trust issue now. But now it's specifically with these new people. I have recruited these people because they need to be expendable. So he can't get to know them too well. He's probably thinking a lot. Again, that he needs to sacrifice people and that not everyone's gonna make it out. And also that he's gonna have to deal with confronting Rachel, which is its own hurdle. Are you going to tell us what they were looking for? Just a giant crater between them. Another person turning their back on Ran though. He's not gonna like this. How rude. He's just gonna take that. What did we say about not challenging a coon? Okay, they like a good challenge. Stop goading. It's not gonna be a deterrent to tell him that he has no chance of getting something that he is very much wanting to get. Okay, see, he's getting all riled up now. Maybe that's the point. Maybe we're trying to goad him, see what he's got. Oh dear. Okay, we're just proving that we got the skills. Look how they all look shook, except like Novik, who's just like mildly interested. I don't like calling him a delicious plate. That makes me very uncomfortable. I don't like that either. Why is it gotta be weird? I like this pullout though of like him being from here all the way over. Like the way that he's able to cover that much distance so quickly. Also the fact that he's calling them kids continuously is like making sure they know that they are beneath him, and almost you taking away any kind of power or authority they could have by referring to them as kids. And I know that they are young, especially given some of the ages that people reach in the tower, but it is intentionally repeating it over and over again to be like, you are like but a child in comparison to my kind of ability and power that I wield. It's a cool shot though with the light too. A dramatic cape flowing or cloak flowing as he stomps out. Is that just a translation thing? Or is everybody stomping for dramatic effect? Oh, at least you got some food. Yeah, probably best if people don't know you're Viole, honestly, given how that name has taken on its own mythos. No. It definitely won't end soon. There are many chapters for me to catch up on. I get that too of like, saying he's physically strong, which he definitely has progressed a ton with that, but is he mentally strong? I don't know. He still has a lot of things that affect him very deeply, and he's always been someone who feels very deeply, so he's going to have to build up a lot of like distance between him and the person he needs to be to accomplish things, which I think is like why, I don't know, almost having that fractured persona of Bam versus Viole was useful for him for a while, because if he was Viole, there was like a certain persona he was taking on with that name and that role that was separate from him as Bam, and it was easier for him to deal with everything that was going on and make the decisions that he needed, because those are the things that Viole would do, and that's like a separate entity almost from who he is as Bam. But when he's trying to be Bam all the time, it's hard for him to detach in the same way, because Bam is the kind of person who cares deeply and is very open and makes friends and cares for his friends and has loyalty to those people, and all of that is something that the tower has continuously over and over again exploited, because they see it as an opportunity to manipulate him, and it keeps working because bless him, he does want to, I think, assume the best in people deep down, and it has not done him any favors. I do get him needing to fortify himself mentally as well, but I wonder what that will do to him the more that he has to build up those walls. I do want him to stand tall before Rachel though, especially since the last time they were around he was actually falling. Oh, are these all of the skills that we've learned? We have actual little certifications for them? Are we being called? Are we getting a message about the tournament? What's happening? Do we have someone else arriving on a train? Because that looks like a train showing up. Oh dear, I'm still stressed. I feel like I'm just gonna be stressed continuously until whatever happens after the train. Maybe. I might just be stressed forever, honestly. All right, are we gonna do the train? Are we gonna get started? I feel like maybe we'll end the chapter at the train, but it also seemed like someone else was showing up. I don't know why we're repeating this information so much, but okay. I guess that would be interesting information for her, because she said that she doesn't know why Foog is interested in the Hell Train. She knows that they want to be there, but she doesn't actually know what they're after, or at least that's what she says. So if that's true, then encountering someone who's already seen Foog on the train and is, I think I know what they were after, that is important information for her. Oh, the Slayer nominee? Because there are more than one of those. Is this Karaka? Was he a big crocodile looking thing? Oh, if he's always hiding, that would be a little bit difficult, but I can believe some terrible experiences though. Encountering Foog does not seem to make someone's life better and more carefree. Oh, a few hundred years ago. And left something. Layers. It's definitely gonna be more dangerous than anyone expected. Absolutely. I don't think that this is gonna go well. Okay, if he has a message from Rachel, I'm gonna lose my gosh darn mind. I saw that she was separated from her group when they were going through everyone getting the message from Emily. If it is, I'm gonna have words. It better be a friend. It better be like Kun or something, because otherwise I'm gonna break. Oh, good. Okay, good. Okay, so we just have to get to tomorrow night, but that's gonna mean that he's late. for joining the tournament. Unless he's not interested, which is fine, but he's gonna be either after the tournament or in the thick of it. It depends on how fast this goes. Are we going to actually share information? How different? I know that she usually shares some kind of information, but it's always encrypted and in layers that I don't fully understand until we get there. The reason I'm thinking Kuraka is because it's the Slayer nominee, which I know that they all say, but I know that in particular, Kuraka was like upset that Viole was also a Slayer nominee. You were also there though. You survived. Why? How? I'm suspicious of anyone who was like left to survive that encounter. We're not gonna ask why he survived, because didn't he say he was on the train? Did I miss something? Okay, so he didn't kill everyone. There were 5 survivors. That's not everyone. You lie. Okay, so there are 4 then that are still alive that know what happened on the train. So have we already encountered them? Is one of them Daniel? Maybe? I'm trying to think of who we've met, who might be people coming back. Because I feel like we're not setting this up because we're not going to meet people who are also there when this happened. Okay, so we have the Revolution Road, which is the name. Also, why did he just let them leave? Like, why kill everyone else on the train and then just let those people leave? I guess maybe because he's telling them I'm going to return, and that is going to then be spread. They are going to tell other people, or at least they will know. So it will, I don't know, incentivize people to go and see what it is, because there's a certain challenge to people wanting to figure out what this thing is that was left on the train by a Slayer nominee. That is incentive to have people come to the Hell Train that are probably of a higher caliber than is normally found on the Hell Train, because it's going to attract people who are more interested in the thing that they can collect from the Hell Train as opposed to the challenge of it. Because if it's people who the Hell Train would not be a challenge normally, then they won't show any interest. Like we've had that with some other characters where they're like, oh, I wouldn't waste my time with the Hell Train. Like it wouldn't even be a challenge, which is a reason for them to not get involved. But if you have something else that's a treasure or something of value that is there, then those people may then show interest. And because they are showing up, that causes a higher level of challenge for the Hell Train for them, because you have enough of them involved that it might actually be something that challenges their abilities. Maybe? Is the hooded person Daniel? I feel just like Daniel isn't part of this in some way. Either the Slayer nominee or one of the people who survived the last time. Probably. It depends what it is. Especially if it's something that a member of Foog stashed away and they need it now, right? They might have left it on the train for safekeeping because it's unlikely that people are just gonna wander across it. And now they're like, we need to collect it to go to the next step of our plan. I don't know about being like, I need to find, I guess I just need to understand like why those people were killed. What was the reason behind it is a reason to need to figure out. Like, I love mysteries. I don't like an unknown question or unsolved mystery that I feel like I would need to know as well. It would bug the crap out of me. Okay, so if it's former, so someone who used to be but isn't anymore, is that still Kuraka or is it someone else? I don't remember how it all goes together. Rachel? Maybe? Rachel's involved with this somehow? I don't know, my head hurts. There's so much going on. Wait a second. Okay, so they sent the message through Emily. They're like controlling Emily, I guess, at this point, which makes sense because they got the tube from Casino. And now we have Daniel again. I wondered if he was part of it because I'm like, he has the cloak thing that all of the other people do that are associated with Rachel. Just every time I see her, I'm like trying to keep my cool. He was chatting. Okay, so someone is referred to as lady as opposed to child. I don't like the idea of real party either. I like the giggle. I might like the stoicism of Ran better. I don't like someone who enjoys like the violence and chaos so much. It makes me very uncomfortable. Okay, we're right before. This is they're part of the new team that is with Idol Girl, who's actually not an idol anymore. It is pretty clever to just block the elevator, and then that cuts down a bunch of the competition, because if you can't get into the elevator, then you can't make it to the tournament. You don't need to deal with those people anymore. Also, why don't you have irises? We're gonna deal with this issue, aren't we? With probably violence and a little bit of glee. Just enough though, just a tiny bit. Not quite like we were getting with Daniel. Ooh, there's like a whole dinner set up. Yeah, I don't know if I'd be able to eat a whole lot before a tournament because physical exertion. I don't have a lot to compare to, but it's vaguely like when I would do performances where one, you couldn't really eat because there's this adrenaline in you that just makes you jittery. And then also you don't want to be on stage with a full stomach, but then once you get off stage and the adrenaline dies down, you're definitely eating everything that you possibly can. Okay, so we need to get out of the residence area soon because people are going to be playing a bunch of tricks to block people from even joining the tournament. Smart. good to know a person who's already been through this. See, I feel like I would be okay with this even if it was my first time, because I need to be early for things because my anxiety dictates that I must do so. So I feel like I would be there super early, not because I was like, I want to avoid all of the weirdness, but because my brain would be like, but what if you're late? And I wouldn't be able to deal with that. Oh, okay. What a way to shift the pan. That is one way to clear that obstacle. I mean, Casanova's there. I'm not ready. Go. Rock's just, I don't know what this is all about. So noisy, being a little grumpy chibi. I also like that I don't need a ticket. I just have to get on the train. Challenge accepted. Oh, bless. We have more than 5, don't we? I can't speak. Okay, so someone's gonna be randomly put somewhere else. Why is it just C team, H team? And we just were whatever. Okay, so we have Aka, who we talked about before, and Ran. So they're gonna go up against each other. We have Bomb versus Idol. And who's not gonna be on Bomb's team though? Because we have 6 people. Were they one of the teams? We have a few that I don't know the names of. So is Rachel gonna be part of it? Or what? Because we seem to be doing some sneaking and stomping and not being where the tournament is starting. I know it's their whole plan, but we're not going to be part of it. What are we doing in the meantime? What do we need the distraction for? I'm very suspicious. I knew we were going to end that last chapter right before getting into the tournament, but now I'm like all suspicious because I feel like we had someone showing up on a train right at the end of the first chapter of this video. So I feel like someone else is showing up. Kun is en route. I don't really know what he's doing. I don't know why he's delayed, but I feel like we're gonna get some kind of story with him. He's gonna show up in very dramatic fashion, and then we're gonna get some kind of flashback to be like, here's where I've been this whole time. Don't know who the idol is, Yuda, who she actually is, or what's going on with her, but I feel like we know she's part of the Ha family, which I feel like is going to give me some kind of clue, because we've encountered people from that family before, so I have to debate on who I think it is or what the connection is. Rachel being anywhere close to Bomb stresses me out a whole lot. I want to know what she's up to while this tournament is going on. Why do we need the distraction? Why do we need to be in this place? And what is this thing that has been left on the Hell Train by previous Slayer nominee? And who were they? I have a lot of questions as we go into this, but I do really like some of the deconstruction we did of Bomb and who he is at this point, and how he is really struggling with the fact that he wanted to be a Bomb 2.0 at the end of the workshop battle arc, and him coming more into who he used to be, but then needing to shift that still and not completely shed the Viole persona, because he does need some of that to continue on this journey, because not everything about Viole is separate from him, nor is it not useful to him as he's trying to get through all of these different floors, all these different challenges, encountering all these different people. He's gonna have to make decisions that make far more sense for Viole, a member of Foog, to make than Bomb, the irregular that started all the way back at the beginning of season 1. There are things that he cannot fully go back to being, and there are things that he cannot fully let go of and not take forward with him. I think that he's gonna have to do a lot of, I don't know, introspection, and again figure out who he is. I feel like he's still a bit fractured in his personality and who he is, because he's always had this question mark of who he is and what his past is and what his purpose is. So I think he's still trying to fill in a lot of those blanks and figure out what kind of person in the tower he wants to be. I think that having the goal of I want to be with my friends and I want to protect them is like a good one, and I like that idea. And him saying I need to find Rachel still being one of his goals, I get that he needs some closure with that story. But outside of that, within the dynamic of the tower, who is he? And I don't think he really knows yet. He just knows what other people want from him, or at least has some kind of idea that people want something from him, though he doesn't fully see the scope of it yet. It's interesting to see how he continues to develop, and I'm hoping that he still stays in a, I don't know, protagonist, more heroic vibe. I hope that he doesn't lose the essence of who he is, which is this very compassionate and empathetic person and open to the world around him. I hope that he gets to keep that and doesn't descend into some of the darker sides of what the tower can make people into, but we'll have to wait and see. And I hope you enjoyed reading that along with me. You can click this playlist to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to miss next time I post a Tower of God video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!